I was worried about my family finding out. I was worried what that would mean for my even like permanent resident status. I was worried about what that would mean for me to be able to go visit any other country, for me to get work, for me, like all of these things. And I'm like, okay, now this is really a different reality that I'm entering. My name is Ahmed Muslimani, and I am a person living with HIV. When I grew up in Lebanon, HIV was very much still in the conversation. So they were focusing on how it affected Africa and specifically just like gay men, and very much sort of vilified those populations because of that. So that was my first understanding of it. It's sort of like this thing that's only, people who are irresponsible or who are in certain social classes get it. I always knew I was different, but it sort of becomes more real when you're at 15 years old, because all these feelings about, you start having feelings for other people in your class. And I had no idea what it was until I was researching for my debate class. And I found the word homosexuality in one of the books, and then I read the description. I was like, oh my God, is this what I've had like the whole time? My dad was an incredibly violent person, so I really kind of grew up in a space of fear. I didn't know anybody. I was feeling terrified, but I was very much in that space of feeling very brave. Like, I'm just gonna risk whatever. I'm just gonna risk it all. I'm just gonna take whatever chance comes at me and say yes to all the things and see what happens. It was a moment of, I've got nothing left to lose, so let's just see where this takes me. When I was diagnosed with HIV, I was at least lucky enough that I knew a lot of people living with HIV in my life. And so I knew the realities in terms of not a death sentence, it's really kind of more of a chronic illness, and treatment is incredibly effective. But it was still terrifying. I was a bartender at a hotel, at a 5-star hotel, and I was very panicked. Like, I didn't take the diagnosis particularly well. I don't think anybody does. I don't know why. I think it was just my mind wasn't working properly, but I decided to call my supervisor and let her know that I just needed to take a day off or a couple of days off because I was just diagnosed with HIV. And she ended up telling the general manager of the hotel, and then I was called into the office. They involved lawyers. They needed me to provide proof that I wasn't in danger to anyone. And that just felt just so overwhelming. And I just decided I couldn't really stay there, so I quit the hotel. When I think back to the journey that I've had since becoming HIV positive, it really sends you on this journey of self-reflection. At least it did for me. And through that self-reflection, there were a lot of things I was able to reconcile from my past. And it wasn't an easy journey in any capacity, but it brought me closer to a community of other people living with HIV. How I see my HIV. I don't think about it when I first wake up. I mean, I take my pill every morning, but it barely phases me anymore. So I think about it as a tricky space to navigate still. So they come with an understanding of HIV that is still, particular to their cultural spaces, is still very stigmatized, regardless of the fact that however common it might be, is still very stigmatized, or any kind of homosexual behavior is illegal, and the two are very much tied together. It's part of a lived experience that still is met with a lot of suspicion or curiosity from people who are not aware of what this life is like, but also presents a chance for building a community with other people who are also living with HIV, who, we all sort of have this shorthand of like understanding each other, which is really wonderful.